Okay, the next step is to take the ratchet and we're going to slide it over the top of the wire here. Then we're going to take a little bit of the gel control glue. And we're just going to put a little drop of glue on the bottom of the ratchet. I'm just going to slide it all the way down onto the wood. Now we're going to take that little piece of the hinge with the hole in it, slide that. This is just paint on my hands from weathering the couplers, just in case you're wondering what's going on. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom of that piece. And I'm going to glue it down to my top angle. I'm going to take the brake wheel. And I'm going to drill that hole out on the end of there with a 20, I believe mine's a 22.5 drill bit here. And now I'm going to slip it, paint it side down onto the brake wheel stab. I'm just going to put a little drop of glue up here. And there you have it, the brake wheel's in. To do the turnbuckle here, I've taken that 20 thousandths wire and I've sharpened it to a very sharp point on both ends. And I'm just going to slide the turnbuckle on it. And I've pre-blackened both of these, but I'm going to go back and weather them with some paint when this is all done. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to grab it and I'm going to find that center beam. And for mine it's easy because on this car here I've ended a board right at that center beam on this side. And I've got a couple that end here. So I'm going to go down to the middle of the second board down. I'm just going to poke one point in. And it goes in real easy to the basswood. I'm going to turn it around and go to the middle of the second board down on this side. And I'm going to kind of bend this wire down so it's going to have kind of a bow to it that'll allow me to get it into the car. Let's see if I can show that here. Take this, bend this down, come down inside the car. I'm at the middle of the second board and now I'm just letting out the spring. And I've worked it in. So there's that turnbuckle. I'm just going to slide this off to the side. Put a little bit of glue on that. Just going to slide that back over that glue. Get rid of the extra there. And there. Now the Mans Creek car, we're finished building it. What I'm going to do is, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and touch up all these little nicks and scratches, touch up the ends of these hinges here, paint the rods on the car to be the rust color. I've also gone already and I've just airbrushed in some of the oily black around the bottom of the car here to hide all that stuff. I just did it with the doors closed. I've weathered the couplers and I've weathered the trucks. I've just airbrushed some colors on. This is just a Tester's flat brown, or Tamiya's flat brown as a base, and then I've just dabbed on some of the Vallejo rust colors with a sponge. The wheels were painted polyscale, oily black. And then while I was airbrushing this, I put a piece of tape over this contact and over the end of the plug here. And so I'm ready to go here once I get done touching these up. This car is finished. Okay, to touch the paint jobs up, I've got my little puddles and my Vallejo paints here, the three colors again of the light rust, medium rust, and dark rust. And then, or actually it's called yellowish rust, light rust, and dark rust. I've got a chunk of cosmetic sponge at the end tore off, so it's got some roundness. I've got a little piece of the sponge here. I've got, of course, tweezers. And I've got just a small brush. And I've got a little bit of my blue washer fluid in a cap. And what I'm going to do here is some of the big areas, like this turnbuckle rod here, is I'm just going to mix up some of this. Just going to get a rust color going, and I'm just going to dab the majority of it across that. Not touching the ends of the car, but I'm just going to get some basic color on that. The top sides of the brake wheel we never painted because we painted the bottom side, so I'm going to just dab some on there on both pieces. And then some of the car I might go like the ends of these hinges here, and if I have any scratches, I've got some scratches on the angle here. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to start dabbing some of this rust across here, just blending it all in and get all the scratches. I've got chips on my angles here from working on them. Just go ahead and dab across those. I nicked this one angle underneath here, so I just dab some on there to cover that up. I had a glue spot there I covered up. But we're just going to go through and just start blending some of this. I'm just trying to stay off the wood here, but there's some big areas that we can just quickly cover and fix up. You know, we're not painting the whole thing. That's what we pre-painted a lot of that to stay out of those delicate areas. So I'm going through it, I'm getting all the real easy stuff with the sponge here. And we can come back and hit some of those again. And for the fine stuff, I'm just using this small brush here. And there we go. So I'm just using this small brush. And I'm thinning some of this paint here and putting a little bit of the washer fluid on this brush. I'm thinning some of this out. I'm just grabbing some different colors here. And then I'm going to go through it. I'm going to carefully paint this rod. Now I'm not going to finish it because I got to move it, but you can come in and paint the rods and some of the fine areas with this small brush. So I'm going to go through this whole thing and do some of that. So get the big areas you can with the sponge, and do the small areas with the brush. Okay, well, I've just installed the trucks and the couplers. When you go to put the trucks on, I kind of pull the wires down into these voids in here to make sure that they're tucked out of the way. Also, when I'm working on this, now that the brake wheels are on, I'm using an old coupler or an old truck box to set it down so I can work on it so they don't break off the brake wheels. I've touched up all my parts, and I've given it a number. Since this is my 17th car, I gave it the number 17. I just hand painted that on there. And there we go, there's one more car ready to add to the layout.